All right. Well, Jenn, why don't we start with you? Share just what I'm just going to let you have the floor and share how this program has helped you, changed you, transformed you. What's been going on for you?
Yeah, thank you. So I think the biggest thing for me is that leading up to this program, it's been a few years that I've just felt entirely unfulfilled, like there was something else I was meant to be doing. And so just in the 2 months that I've been doing this program, it feels like this training is that piece that's been missing in my life's purpose. Like this is work I'm meant to do. It's also, I think, unexpectedly, it's been kind of a twofold effect on me in that it's affected my own personal growth. I've come to realize I'm very resistant to feeling emotions, and that in my life I've traditionally tried to just plow through emotions and get through hard times without really feeling them. And this program has taught me really just to feel them and to allow them to be, and to be able to think differently about the circumstances in my life. So for me, I mean, I'm so excited to be able to see the difference in myself and also to potentially build a business from this and help my peers as well through coaching, and to see, you know, the changes in other people's lives and already in the practicing that we're doing. I mean, it's pretty amazing to see how even just the initial bits that we've learned right from day one have helped, you know, friends that I've been practicing with, and through the peer coaching. I mean, it's also been amazing to do that and to learn with a group of other people who are experiencing the same thing and having the same thoughts about themselves and whether you know they can do it, and all of the experiences we're having. It's amazing to have this community of people.
Yeah. Isn't it fun? I want to ask you about one thing because this is so huge. You said up until this point, you were feeling unfulfilled. And this has, I love this phrase. You said this has been the missing piece in your life's purpose.
Oh yeah, I mean, I feel like it just felt like there's always been something else I've been meant to do. And when you offered this training, it was the fastest decision I've made. Like finances, everything, like it didn't even matter because it just felt so right, from your email, from what you described. And I haven't looked back since.
Oh, that's huge.
Yeah, it's been amazing.
So good. So good for people to hear, because I know that's what it's been for me too. And it's just like, you know, I was at a point where I was thinking, is this all there is in life? You get up, you work your tail off, and you go to bed, and people are unhappy with you. And so I totally get it. Oh, I love that you have that now.
So I do have a flower farm, and I do that kind of in addition to my regular job. I'm a veterinarian as well. And so, yeah, I'm really excited to bring this coaching to my peers in the veterinary profession. It's something that's really lacking, especially in the last few years. So that's what I do.
This is wonderful. Good. Okay. Thank you. All right. So let's go to Andre next. And Andre, tell us your name and what you do, and then share how this program has changed you.
So my name is Andre Eshu, and I am a co-owner of Barn Swallow Gardens, and that is a flower farm located in Northern California. And in addition to that, I work in education, kids K through 6. And this program, I actually got introduced to it through my wife, who said, "Hey, there's this program. I think you'd be interested in it." And that kind of led me into the program of what I thought in my mind, you know, as a young male. When I heard coach, I was like, oh, I know coaches. I've had basketball coaches and soccer coaches, and that's what I thought. And then it turns out it led me into a very different, almost world. Almost a world and universe. And what that has meant for me is at 39 years old, this program has taught me the skills to feel all the emotions that make up the human experience, but then more importantly, to process them. And that has been life-changing work as a father and a father of three, to be able to learn that skill. And the processing piece has been fascinating because I found myself actually having memories of things that I had thought I forgot about, or just that I put away in a box somewhere. And they are now coming up, and I'm able to process them and feel them and share them with the people I love the most and my kids. And that has kind of led me on my journey of wanting to continue this work with fathers specifically, because what I'm recognizing is that most fathers are living, or have lived a lot of our lives in a kind of a state of irritation or annoyance or anger, and that this kind of work allows us to live a very different life and create new thoughts and choices for our families and our kids.
Mhm.
And just in this short journey with Charlotte and the team and the peer group I'm in, it's been interesting. I initially thought, oh well, no one else will be interested in this father specifically. And I actually got an email right before I got on today from an organization locally here that wants to try to potentially partner and offer some sort of support or coaching for fathers who are really struggling with their kids.
That is incredible.
So
Andre, as one of two men in this program, because coaching typically is like 90% women and fewer 10% men. Can you speak to that? Like, there is it's not that men don't want or need coaching. I am so delighted to have two men in this program, especially Arlen. You'll talk about this too, being in the egg industry, and Andre, you're coaching fathers. Tell me what is your perspective on you're in this as a man being here now, opening doors for other men to address something that they've never been taught to do in their lives?
I think this kind of work for men or for fathers, it has the potential to have impacts in generations in ways we would never know. Just even for me, my personal example of being able to now share my feelings and process my emotions openly, with my wife and my children. I have no idea what that skill and tool, showing them that, is going to do for their future or their future families, and on and on and on. So I think as a father or as a male, I think this is identifying our thoughts, being able to identify our feelings and processing those feelings / emotions. I think for me, it's the most important work I've ever done. Yeah.
Oh, that's
As a
beautiful.
human,
Yeah.
and just as a human being.
Yeah.
So that's
Oh,
right now my biggest, and that affects all other areas, business and finances and everything else. But it has had a profound impact on my life and my family.
yeah, that's fantastic. And you started January 1st-ish. So you've been in here, 2.5 months. Yeah. So fantastic. Great. Well, I want the men who are listening to know that their life can change, and we need more male coaches as well. So thank you. Great. Thanks, Andre. Okay. Ginger, do you want to go next? Tell us who you are, what you farm, and then dive in.
Yeah. Well, my name is Ginger. I own actually a tea and herb farm in Oregon, on the Oregon coast, called Community. And Charlotte, I've been wanting to tell you this story for so long, and it's kind of emotional. So I hope I can hold it together, but it is definitely like the reason I'm in this program. So last fall, my husband and I went on a trip to Utah, and we had driven thousands of miles away from our home down there. And as we were like, it was getting nighttime, and we're like in the car and like rolling into Moab, a place I've never been. I was really excited to be there. And like, he had been acting kind of weird all like this whole trip. He's been acting a little off. And I was like, well, whatever, you know, we're on vacation. And like, all of a sudden it just like starts to unpack this whole thing in the car about the marriage. He thinks he needs to leave the marriage, and he thinks, you know, he had an affair, and just like, boom, boom, boom. And I was just like, oh my God. I mean, literally just like, oh my God, like I was just completely in a state of like blindsided shock. And we pull into this hostel, and it was like, are you kidding me? You know, I'm just like, my whole world just got blown apart. Like we were business partners. I mean, everything. We had been together for 10 years. And I thought we were fine. Like there was this, like, I really thought we were just on a vacation. And he unpacks this, and I am just like, go into this little cabin. Obviously he slept in the car, and I'm standing in this cabin, and I'm kind of having a panic attack. And then I hear this like voice in my head, and I kid you not, it was your voice, Charlotte. And it was like, okay, choose your thoughts, like, do it, choose your thoughts. And I was like, all right. And I sat there and I took a deep breath, and I was like, okay, like, what do I want to feel right now? And what came up immediately was like, you need to feel safe. And I was like, okay, if I had to feel safe, then what are my thoughts? And I coached myself in this moment. It was just like immediate, because I had been doing it, you know, in your program. And I was like, in this complete moment, I was like, I need to feel safe. I need to think, okay, I'm warm. I have a place to sleep. I'm not in danger. Like I coach, it was just like a really basic like coaching, but it brought me down. I was like, okay, I calmed down. You know, I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. I have a bed to sleep in. Like, you know, my life is not being threatened. This is just a thing. And I was able to calm down enough to like, you know, call a friend and have a conversation. And of course I was upset, but like the next morning I was like, okay, choose your thoughts again. Like, what's your thought? And I was like, all right, I think I'm going to just choose that this is happening for me. Like this must be happening for me. Here I am in this moment. And I was like, if this is for me, then let's do it. Let's go on this vacation. Let's spend 2 weeks and just like do this and like find out all the things, like what's going on, what's up with him, what's up with me. And we just spent this like insanely emotional, but awesome 2-week trip in Utah together. And he was like blown away. Like he was like, I cannot believe you're handling it like this. Like, I cannot believe we're still talking. I cannot believe any of this is happening the way it is. He's like, this is amazing. And and it's not like the marriage we are in a separation right now, but like, we're still friends. We're still talking. And I just was like, it was so incredible. I mean, I signed up for your course to learn about marketing my farm. Okay. Like that's where I started. And that has been awesome. Like I have sold a lot of tea. But when you're in those moments of like, your life is actually falling apart, like everything you thought was stable is not stable in a moment's notice, that to turn to that skill, and it was like there for me, like it worked. Like it was like, I am now such a true believer. I'm like, I cannot believe that worked. And it really has been continuing to work. I just keep choosing the thoughts. And it's not like I haven't cried. Not like we didn't cry for 2 weeks together. We did. We cried and cried and cried. But because I wasn't in victim mode, because I wasn't in defensive mode, because I wasn't attacking him, we were able to like have the deepest conversations of our marriage. We were able to stay friends. We were able to, and honestly, I feel like I healed something that I haven't been able to do for myself or for my other partners my entire life. Like I've never been able to end a relationship like that, like in the most like empowering and healing way for myself. Like say nothing for him. It was very healing for him too, but like for me, you know, I was like, wow, this is incredible. So I just wanted to tell you that story because it was everything. And like, it has definitely transformed my belief in the work. Like, cause that was the test, you know, like if I can actually turn to it at that moment, then I know it's real. And that's a circumstance that you would be like, this isn't neutral. Like, how could you ever feel like that circumstance was neutral? And I was like, no, I could. I was like, this is just a thing. And I can choose my thought.
Yeah. And if you didn't choose your thought, you would be a bitter, angry, resentful woman right now. But I know this. And so for this work, you used that to grow you and strengthen you instead of what most people do is, become bitter enemies and you would hate them forever. And of course, you've heard my podcast episode. I had the exact same thing happen to me. So, we get surprised in life. Thank you for sharing that. I have tears in my eyes at several points throughout the story because it hits so close to home. And I had no idea this was going on, which is another, I think, really cool thing about coaching is I had no idea this was going on, not because you're suppressing it, but because you're addressing it and dealing with it and you're not hiding it. So I just want to point out the difference because there's lots of people like for him, having these spouses that are hiding all these things and suppressing all that. But since you've learned the skill of being able to process your emotions, choose your thoughts, choose how you want to show up as a woman in a very difficult situation, you didn't suppress any of it. There it is. It's part of your life. And you're showing up like as a strong, amazing, courageous, beautiful woman that you are, going through things that a lot of us will go through. That's incredible. Oh, and we're only an hour and a half apart. We need to get together in person and share too. Oh, Ginger, thank you. That's beautiful.
Thank you. Like
you
I
have
said,
the skill. You are
yeah.
a coach. You can do it for yourself and you can do it for others now. That's incredible.
Yeah. Thank you, Charlotte. It was definitely your voice in my head. And it was awesome. It was just like, I needed it so much and it was there for me. And I just want to pass that on to other people. What a great ability to like shift the moment. And
it's an amazing example of living at your highest level. To be told at the beginning of a vacation, this jarring news, and then finish the vacation with this person who cheated on you. And you had the most deepest, wonderful, profound talks of your whole relationship. Yeah. That's you, Ginger. That's the woman you've become. Yeah. Way to go. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Oh, okay. So I'm going to call on Marianne next. And then all of you who have to leave early can get back to work.
Hey, so I'm Marianne. I have an organic vegetable farms in Quebec, Canada. The huge win I want to share with you is on a personal level too. So last week, when I got your email inviting us for this podcast interview, as soon as I clicked on the email and started reading it, my first thoughts were, oh, no, that's not for me. I don't do podcasts. That's for other people. I'm not good at that. I'm not going to know what to say. I will tell Charlotte that I'm busy on Wednesday and I cannot do it. And after like a few minutes, I started to dig deeper and realize that I was creating this story in my head so that I could feel safe. Because of course, if I don't do the podcast, I'm not feeling all those uncomfortable emotions, which for me are like being super shy and stressed and embarrassed to be speaking for thousands of people with my French accent and feeling self-conscious and all of that. And I think it happened really often in my life that I've been saying no to different opportunities or new situations. And of course, I stayed small instead of, being willing to get out of my comfort zone. And the reason why it's a huge win for me is because I have 6-year-old twin boys. One of them is super easygoing. He's, very comfortable in new situations, meeting new friends, trying new things, really like he's an extrovert. And so overall, he's super easy. But his brother is completely the opposite. And I recognize myself a lot in him. So he's more of an introvert. He's super anxious with meeting new friends. trying a new sport, he's always going to say no at first and stay on the bench watching his brother. And I can see that he wants to do the things, but the uncomfortable emotions are so huge for him that he's not willing to try. And I'm so happy that I'm realizing now that I'm going to be able to help him so much at a young age, you know, navigating life with this personality that is maybe more challenging than his brother personality on, you know, with social circumstances. And I'm going to be able to teach him those tools that you can feel those terrible emotions, and that's okay. You're not going to die from that. You can feel anxious and shy, and you can still do the things. And it's almost as if in the past, I think I was thinking that in front of a new situation or project, if it didn't feel like 100% nice, I was almost thinking like, oh, this is not for me. If I'm feeling stressed or anxious about something, it means that it's maybe wrong or I shouldn't do it. But now I understand that it's probably exactly the opposite, actually.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm really happy for that and grateful that I will be able to help my son with these challenges at a young age instead of him figuring it out at 40 or 50 years old.
Yeah, you're going to change his life and your legacy forever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful. And can I just say, like, I remember coaching you in the past. You just show up with such an air of confidence now. I've watched you grow into this confident young woman, and it's just wonderful, amazing to watch.
Yeah, it's true. I feel just by being here right now, I feel so much more confident than a few years ago.
Oh, absolutely. And we all love a French accent. Like, that is your superpower.
Thank you.
I know we've coached on that before,
Yeah.
and we all love it, you know. So yeah, it's wonderful. Well, I'm so happy to have you here. Thank you for sharing. Okay, great, wonderful. Well, next up, Amber.
So I joined the program in May. So I hadn't been in it very long when the opportunity to go into the coaching program came along, and wasn't, entirely sure that I had worked through enough of the program material to be ready, but sent you an email and you said, that you thought it'd be a good time to just jump in there and how much we would learn just because, we were going to be going through it ourselves. And boy, were you right. And then fast forward a couple of months and I got I'm right in the throes of working through a very emotional time in my life. So excuse me if I cry. But I have recently been diagnosed with a very aggressive breast cancer. And I am super thankful that I'm in this program because I know that it is helping me just really stay grounded in my thoughts. It's amazing to be able to, just really realize that, number one, we're not alone. And that's, just super wonderful. There's great group of peer coaching. I've really gotten a lot out of peer coaching time in terms of just really working through some of the additional emotions. Had a call or one of our class sessions. Charlotte kind of dived in and we talked about, a situation in my life that I really thought that I was healed from. I thought I'd worked through the emotions of, I'd put it behind me. And wow, I realized in that moment how much pain and hurt I was still carrying around. And so it just made me really start reflecting because I've always seen myself as a really, happy, thankful, positive person, kind of the encourager of the group. And so I never saw that these other situations, I guess Jen kind of said it at the beginning of the call that she thought that she's recognizing that she's just sort of barreled through the emotions rather than maybe dealing with them. And I guess in my mind, I had thought that as well. It's like, well, I can't change that. I've accepted it. I'm going to move on with my life because I'm a forward thinking person. I'm not going to get stuck in the past, but not maybe taking the time to really unpack a lot of the feeling and letting that go. And so I've just really been working in my life of, okay, what else is in there that, I didn't work through the emotion of it.
Yeah,
And some
because
super-
we're
Oh, go
all
ahead.
taught to bury it. And that's what everyone, including you, we buried
Yeah.
it all these years. And we think by burying it, we're doing the world a service. But look how it's healing you.
It is healing me. And it's really fascinating, some of the research I've been doing about statistics about breast cancer and people that have been deeply hurt, and how they know some of those mind connections and mind body connections. And so, yeah, it really is. I'm gonna use the word shocking because it's quite shocking to me, because I never, like I said, I mean, I've wanted to be a positive person. I've chosen that. And so I thought that was the way through it, was just to say, well, done with that thought or emotion. But definitely learning that taking the time to work through it
Yep.
and releasing it is the healing.
And you have all these classmates to help you process emotion. I think this is such a testament to believing in God's timing. Like, you joined this program thinking, oh, it'd be fun to be a coach. And hello, then it is what is helping you through this diagnosis you didn't know was coming. Like, God was like looking out for you. This has happened so many times in my life. And I think it's just another testament to God's like, okay, Amber's got some big stuff coming in. Let's get her in this class where she's got a group of people loving on her at you're a click away from a peer coaching session. So you will have an amazing coaching practice, and you're using it. We use this in our personal lives so much too.
Yeah. I heard you say to a gentleman on just a regular coaching call, he kept saying, oh, I had gotten off track. I fell off the wagon. And you said, you keep repeating, you say it a lot. What if you're exactly where you need to be right now? And the impact of that, just because you're exactly right.
Yeah.
I'm exactly where I need to be right now. And I do believe that God placed me here, and I'm super thankful for that.
You're going to use this for so much good. There are so many women struggling with what you're struggling with who don't have the skills that you will be able to help them with. You'll be able to use this for so much good in the world. Oh, thank you for sharing. I actually wasn't sure of the exact diagnosis, and that's a big deal. So thank you. Okay, Arlen, tell us who you are and what you do. And you're one of 2 men in the coaching group too. So I want you to speak to that. Like I had Andre, the importance of men in this industry, and men coaching other men, and men getting coached. So let's hear what you have to say.
Well, I'm proud to be the second man in here. I really, that might have come out wrong, but no.
You're both number one.
No, so I work for a tractor manufacturer, and I look after a group of dealers. And so I guess how this whole journey, if you will, started. My wife became a member of the 5X group and farm marketing from the heart. And so she started with that, and I saw so many things start to change with the way she looked at things and the way that. And then she told me about your course, and I was like, oh yeah, like totally, that would be good. And it was very, the more I thought about it and the more I worked through it, I thought to myself, oh, this is exactly what I do with my dealers. This would be phenomenal to take and expand more of a professional development type scenario. And there's a small portion of the course so far that has to do with professional development, and a major component of, like Andre attested, well, everybody actually, about personal growth. And yeah, it's an incredible journey. Yeah, it's something that, you know, you can't put a price tag on. And personally, I think that what we're learning, and you know, the momentum that I see, and just coaching with everybody in our group, I mean, I look at things differently as a man, as a guy, and it's my own style, I guess, and I'm really excited to finish. I guess we're about halfway through now, and I just think, man, I'm learning so much. What else is there to learn? And it just keeps coming and coming. So
I'd love to hear, because I know you're busy coaching some men out there.
Yeah, so
share what's going on with some of the guys that you're bringing this skill to, even though you're not even halfway through the program. How's it helping?
So one guy in particular, actually I coached with him last evening, and so he also has a therapist that he works with, and it's been neat to see his therapist reusing the questions that I posed to him, because she's never heard of this stuff before, and just totally coming behind him of what I'm pushing for. And one of the things that we've really, I kind of laid out in the first meeting with him, was the whole fact of, I am worthy, and I, you know, that I need to give myself the grace to make it so that I can lead. And so he actually leads a whole team at his dealership of people. And so in our coaching last night, he was very stressed out and very worked up. And it took us pretty much over an hour. And by the end, he was just calm.
Oh.
It was, and and one of the things that he's learning is to position to his team the fact that if you need to go somewhere and like sit with your emotions that you're feeling right now, by all means go. And he had a mechanic come to him, one of his mechanics, and just say, like, I'm having a bad day, like this is not going well, I should just go home. And this gentleman said, you know, if you need to go in the back 40 and go sit in a piece of equipment for a while, you know, go ahead. And he did that. He went out and he spent 15 minutes just by himself and just worked through his emotion, came back, and that was the best day he ever had. So,
Arlen, you're making me cry. Like this, you know, I've lived in the agriculture industry my whole life.
Yeah.
And to hear that you are doing this for these men out here that are struggling, and you know, the agricultural field has the highest suicide rate of any occupation. Yeah. So this is so profound. And I hope the gentleman listening, you know, we need a dozen more just like you in this class, because you're changing. Geez, you guys, I should have brought Kleenex. You're changing the dealership, the guys running the dealership, the employees, and you're changing their lives because they're taking these things home. You know, you taught them process your emotions, don't stuff them. And now they're like, do you realize with that one client that you're working with, and I think it's your practice client, so you probably aren't even charging him yet, but it's time to start charging him. You're changing hundreds of people's lives just by coaching him. So anyway, I just, like, hats off to you, bow down to you. This is incredible. And you took a risk. You know, you're in a class full of women, you and Andre, two number one guys, and you are doing things that not many men are doing, and you're changing lives. And I see this as emotional for you too. I won't call you out.
No, that's fine. It's good. I'm processing my emotion right now.
Good.
One other thing, I actually have my very first practice lady. She's yeah, we're gonna start next week, so I'm kind of pumped. I've peer coached with everybody in the class, and you're all amazing, and but it takes it to another level when you actually know the person, you've worked with them, and now you all of a sudden have to coach. And she's older than I am, and she's set in her ways, and so she wants to change. She sees so much. So anyway,
you're gonna help her so much. Oh, this is wonderful, you guys. This is great medicine. And Carol asked, can we peer coach across classes? Because you guys, this is the first time you're meeting each other. We got 25 coaches, so I'll share your emails so you can set up time with each other. And because a lot of us are scared. I know I was when I first got certified and started coaching. I thought, ooh, I can't coach men. They're scary. But you know what? We have the same human brain. So I want the men to coach women and the women to coach men, so that you realize that, oh, we all struggle with the same things. Because what I'm here, I think a lot of us think, oh, agriculture, dealership, managers, owners, employees, they don't struggle with emotions. Are you kidding? Because we've been raised with this idea of this big, strong man. So yeah, I will definitely share your info so you guys can peer coach each other too. Okay, this is so fabulous. Who wants to go next? Carol, you're at the top of my screen. Do you want to share?
Sure. Well, I'm blown away by the testimonials so far. I have sort of one of my own. I'm maybe the oldest one in this group. I'm 71. And it might be that folks think that when you're 71, you might as well just wait till the end. And I know a couple years ago, I got thinking, well, I probably have at best 20 years, maybe 10 years, but how do I even know that? So why should age is a circumstance. Why do we let age tell us that we can't grow and learn and become better people? So I have met, I'm going to get emotional because this course has meant more to me than anything I've ever done. Now, wait a second. I need to take that back because it's allowed me to enjoy and love my farm. Before, my farm was just like, I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to run in place. I took advantage. I ignored my husband. He was just an annoyance sometimes. I ignored the wonderful things that would happen. I ignored everything until I hit this course. And now my life it's fun. I'm actually having fun. I'm making more money than I've ever made before. And it doesn't even matter whether I did or not. I don't really care. I started making money 2 years ago when I started with you, Charlotte. Mm-hmm. I mean, it just was like, I don't even know why, but it happened. But
because
that's not even
because you changed your thoughts. Yeah.
Well, it was it was baby steps. Yeah.
Yep.
Because back then I don't know what I knew now. Yeah. No, now, although I knew it all along. I mean, we all know it. It's just you were able to reach into our souls and bring it out.
Mm-hmm. The questions, the coaching questions do that, don't they? Yeah.
Yeah, they do. And I'm now becoming really excited. I was nervous to coach anybody outside of my group, of our 12 group. And I had a session with Elena the other day, and I realized that how exciting, just like Arlen's doing it, to share to bring other people to this new level. And just let age be a circumstance. It's not even an issue. And I'm excited for whatever happens and the new learning I'll have. And it's just, I embrace it. And I thank you for making it happen.
You're so welcome. And just like everyone in this group, we bring our own unique experiences that are going to change the world. And I love that you shared, you're the oldest one in the program, 71. Hopefully that won't be the case. We'll have, because now we're at an age, I'm at an age where some of my older friends are getting sick and their lives are ending, and they have so many regrets that they didn't follow their dreams. And here you've found, because it's a testament to what Jenn said too, you've found something because it's going inside, it's rewiring your brains. You found a way to enjoy life. I know you emailed me once, said my marriage has never been better. So at 71, your life is just beginning. And this is available to everybody. You're not a special unicorn. You know, nobody in here is special unicorns. You're here doing something that everyone, and now you're going to take it to other people outside of this. So I especially am grateful you're on here showing that no matter what age, you can start your life. You can have the most amazing life ever starting today forward, even if you're in your 70s, 80s, 90s. So, thank you, Carol.
And one other thing, health is so much part of it, because I believe this course has made me so much more healthy.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I'll have a pain and I'll focus my energy on it and I'll think about it and I'll let it live, and then it goes away. And
Isn't that amazing? And you
amazing.
get way more energy. And, Amber's reading a lot of the research that I've read about mindset and disease. So, yep, I don't claim it's a health program, but I hear that from a lot of you, how much more energetic and healthier you become. Me for sure too. Oh, thank you. Well, I'm just kind of going in the order I see you on my screen. So Angie, do you want to share next? Oh, you're muted at this point. And tell us who you are and what you do.
I am Angie Pittman, and I have a flower farm. I'm also a full-time veterinarian. So I did this program for very selfish reasons. I started your program definitely to market the flowers because I wasn't real successful with that at that point. And I love the coaching calls. So I thought, well, this will be a good way to accelerate that. And oh boy. So it has been definitely a mind-blowing program because it shifted everything. I hated work. I was doing the flower farm to get away from that. And this has just been able to pull back the layers and be able to, kind of figure out where all that was coming from. And I'm seeing everything's not so black and white, and it's not an and or anymore. I'm just, it feels so like the possibilities have become pretty endless at this point, and I'm happy again. And that's in its own right. Even my family is noticing that. So I think that part has been just mind-blowing. So I actually coached my office manager, and we coached through a couple of things, and we were just practicing. She was letting me, and just those little things at work we're seeing such a shift with just us changing ours, that our work environment it's just like a boulder down a hill of just seeing positive things start to happen. Because I'm like Jenn, I mean, our industry and the vet industry is just so stressful, and it's kind of imploding at this point inside. And, so each clinic is having that same issue, and it's been really, really just transforming our clinic. So that's been great. But I think it's just being able to know that you can help people, you can help yourself. And it's just been awesome. All of it's been awesome.
Oh, thank you. And I love that you, again, 2 months into the program, and you're changing, because you had some pretty big stressful complaints about your work environment, and now to shift your work environment in 2 months. And again, you're not just coaching the people in there, they're changing, but they're taking it home to their families. So now the things you thought you had to leave your job, the coaching helps you create an environment where finally, because if you leave your job, you just take this stress with you to the next job. We all know that, or marriage. you take it to the next relationship. So you all are learning how to get fulfillment and enjoyment with life where you are right now. And
Well, it's true, because it started with you coached me, and I've done several peer coaching since, and just kind of like just taken branches off of what you started. And each of my peers, which I adore my class, each of them have like, just one thing after another. And it's like, oh, this really isn't, I have a choice here. And this is all, every time it's making a huge difference. And I don't know, no regrets. Zero regrets. I have no idea what's going to happen from here, but that's kind of actually, I'm seeing that's the fun of it.
yeah, wonderful. You can just be present to opportunity right now. Oh, thank you, Angie. It's wonderful to have you.
Hi, Charlotte. Hi, everybody. I'm Laura Birch. I am a grazer and a gardener in Wells, Vermont. And I want to talk about the community, I guess. This class and the Farmers Coaching Farmers program has given me a realization of the common struggles that we face in the process. And I understand everyone, is facing what I'm facing, and sharing our humanness and the neutral nature of our circumstances, instead of seeing ourselves as a problem, and focusing on what we think, has really been meaningful. And, in our industry, all around me in the state of Vermont and, in the Northeast and farming across America and around the world, there's evidence that farmers need coaching. Is around here, I often see people trying to fit into boxes to obtain funding from agencies and other sources to prop up their businesses temporarily, really. And even worse, when you get into a program like that, sometimes the skills aren't developed in the farmer. The fixes are applied like Band-Aids. And, once the agency and the funding moves away, the farmer's back to where they started without the skills to evolve. So it is kind of emotional for me, because it's all risk in farming, right? Like we're all, whether we're veterinarians or talking with our equipment dealers or sales or marketing or production, we're all, really putting a lot of risk into it. So I see coaching and this program that you're developing, the Farmers Coaching Farmers program, as a solution, sort of like the metaphor to teach people how to fish. When coaching a client, the best sound that I like to hear is, oh, their verbal expression of their awareness of how they're thinking. So.
Oh, this is beautiful. Thank you. What a great testament. And it's, I had the same experience when I found coaching like 5 years ago, the specific style of coaching I teach you all, which I think is the best skills out there ever, because we're actually changing people. We're teaching people how to grow and change themselves, and in turn change their farm, change their families, not by changing other people, but by changing themselves. And you touched on so many important points. So yeah. And I love having you out there doing this work. I can't wait for all of you to see where you take it in your specific little niches. So thank you, Laura.
You're welcome.
All right. Lori Hernandez, let's go with you.
All right. Can you hear me?
Uh-huh.
Okay, perfect. My name is Lori Hernandez, and I farm in West Michigan. We have a flower farm, and I have been working with you for a long time, Charlotte. I mean, you coached me years ago on helping me achieve like these really big dreams in my life. And one of my biggest dreams was to bring my husband on the farm full time with me. And you coached me through this years ago, and I kept getting stuck. I couldn't make this dream come true. And I was struggling with so many emotions like judgment and shame and fear and scarcity mindset. And so like I had this thing that I wanted, and I just couldn't get there. And I don't know if you remember this, but you were coaching me. It was maybe a little over a year ago. And I was thinking about building my farm to the point where I could support my family. And you said, how do you feel when you think you have to support your family? And I was like, I feel so burdened and I feel heavy and I feel weighed down. And you shifted everything with this one question, like, what if the opposite could be true? And it was like turning the key in the lock. And I shifted to this: supporting my family is my joy and my delight. And it was like everything just flowed from there now. And so, like, on this practical level now, like, I am supporting my family. My husband is home full time with me. We paid off our house. My business reached 6 figures, like all of these things on a really practical level. But those like don't even mean anything, because what really happened was how it changed me on this personal level. So I'm a Christian, and I've spent most of my life praying to God, like, I want to have an open mind. I want to have an open heart. I want to have open hands. And all of those things were holding me back: the judgment, the shame, the fear, the scarcity, the unworthiness, the lack of value in my life. And you've coached me hard, and through coaching, through all of my peer coaches, I realized the other day, I'm like, my mind is more open thanks to coaching. Like, I'm curious, and my heart is more open. Like, I have compassion in my heart now that wasn't there before this coaching. And I have open hands, like hands willing to give and receive, because I don't have that scarcity mindset and fear anymore. So it is like completely transformed and changed every single part of my life. And I don't know where I'm going with this coaching practice, but I see myself perhaps working with people from my church, because this has been so transformative for my personal life, my professional life, and my spiritual life. And I don't know, it's really exciting. I have a thought I practice every day that is, I help others live into their fullness, because coaching helped me live into my fullness. And now I can use that skill to help other people live into their fullness. And when we have like rooms full of people living into their fullness, like the world's going to explode.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. The effect that all of you are having on
The
so many.
multiplication is
Yes.
crazy.
Yes, you're changing so many lives. Lori, I remember that coaching exactly. Like, I coach hundreds of people, and I still remember every time you guys say, I don't know if you remember coaching me on this 6 months ago. For some reason, I remember all those things. You said a really key thing, that the question, I asked you a question, and it was like a key unlocking. I let the coaching questions, coaching is questions. That's how I define it. It's different than therapy. And I have pages and pages of questions I teach you all, because those are the keys that have helped you. You know, it's not because I'm a special unicorn. Again, it's because I have the specific technology that I have learned that I'm now teaching you, that unlocks everything for all of you. So many of you are saying how fulfilling life is.
Yeah.
I love knowing you. I think it's been 6 or 7 years.
It's been a long time. And I just want to say too, that like some parts of the coaching and this personal development have taken years. Like, it's a slow burn. But when it finally ignites, it's crazy how quickly things can change. Like that coaching call, you turned that key for me, and my whole body and everything about me, everything changed. And I've never been the same since then. So thank you.
Yeah. And it's interesting. You say you don't know what you'll do with coaching. You can do anything. Like, all of you can coach anyone. Everyone needs this. And everyone, when you talk about share your specific experiences, everyone's drawn to it. So I love that you guys now have learned a skill that you can just walk out into the world and help anyone, anywhere. It's so beautiful. Oh, thank you, Lori. Okay, Cindy, who looks like she's on vacation.
Hi, I am not on vacation. I'm just at the beach on a Tuesday, because you taught us to be able to do that.
Perfect.
Yeah. Okay, my name is Cindy, and I have a raw dairy farm in North Carolina. And I also have a fermenting business in North Carolina. And I've been with you for a long time, I think like first or second round of Farm Marketing from the Heart. And I just, on some of the questions that you asked us for the podcast, it was to get, I was thinking, when you said, why are we different? Why do we feel different? And I really did think I was different because I was the only one not getting it. I was the only one that couldn't do the Farm Marketing from the Heart. I would just like get on board, drop off 2 weeks later, get on board over and over. And, that's, I guess, your story too, realizing like, oh, it's mindset, right? So I think that then, the coaching, got on board with the coaching really helped. And to think about, why did I choose the coaching program, Farmers Coaching Farmers, I think is what I was really focusing on. And I had busy farm, I had a business and the kids and the homeschool, and like, why now? Why pull the plug and do that? And it's just been everything. So the skill that I guess I've learned behind the curtain is the questions and the holding space, like, and just that like nitty grittiness of the mindset cycle. And just now I feel like I have an internal coach like all the time. And I have this like thing I have written out that you said, like, farmers making money have learned to take unrelenting ownership of everything in their business and in their lives. So I have this like printed out and posted everywhere. And it's like that word unrelenting is just part of like that internal coaching. I can, in a good way, be unrelenting with like the questions just pop up. And I don't know, just seeing myself in the two different businesses, but I have two different stories about them. And I just watch myself every day, see the difference of results of the two stories, and just the coaching, asking my questions and letting myself hold space for myself has been just amazing. So the marriage is better. And my daughter, so I still have a marriage and I still have a farm and I still have a business. And that is like holding space, that just being able to do that and practice that every week. I mean, we've been coaching how many, like training, not many weeks, 8, 9, 10, I don't know. But practicing that every week with the peer coaching, it just saved it just saved everything.
And I've, again, known you for years and have watched you blossom so much into a confident woman, because you just said something that I know a lot of people think before coaching. They're like, my life is bad, my job is bad, my marriage is bad, so therefore it's all wrong, I have to get rid of it. And then you find coaching and you realize, oh, I can work on my mindset, I can shift myself, and everything gets better because you've expanded your skill set, your perspective, and then your family responds differently. And like you said, because I remember thinking, oh, everything's got to go because it's all the wrong decision. It's so terrible. It must have all been wrong decisions. And everyone shares a little bit of that story. And now you realize, oh, we just haven't been taught the skill of how to make life wonderful.
And I think the best and fastest growing thing is my daughter. So my 15-year-old daughter is my biggest fan. And really, when we started coaching, when I started one-on-one coaching with you, that was it was all out war every day over the homeschool table. I'm a terrible mom. I'm a terrible farm, all the things. And I just overhear her telling people how great I am. She tells me I'm great. And it's really, I know that it's coach related and the training related, because she said, Like, I trust you. I've watched you struggle and do something about it. And I've never seen that before with people or other families. And so she just watches me practice, get up, do it again, do it again. And so her trust in me is through the roof, and I can see it. And I started that journey because she looked at me over a war one day, and she looked me dead in the face and said, "You don't do what you say you're going to do."
Oh.
And that was the deciding moment to get in, and still do it badly all the time, but the results are still over and over. Even no matter how badly I'm doing it, it's just still working. And now
Yeah.
she trusts me more than anyone
Oh.
else on earth. And I just thought, oh my
And you-
gosh, that was such like a missed, like it could have been so bad, and it just
Oh,
turned it all
totally.
around. Yeah,
Yeah.
and she does it now. She holds space for herself.
Again,
She asks herself
changing,
good questions. It's amazing. Yeah.
changing legacies, and you become a woman who does what she says she's going to do and models that for her kids now. That's huge. Oh, it's been so wonderful to watch
Okay.
you grow all these years.
I'm Neva. Our farm is Hindsight Homestead in Northeast Tennessee. And I've always, in this type of group, I always am apprehensive to talk because I'm the one that has the country Southern accent. So, and this is my professional accent, just so everybody knows. It can get worse. So I stumbled across you in general because I was trying to find a like a farm store idea. And so I stumbled across your video with a pink door on your farm store, and then it just kind of went from there, from that video. And then your book, got that online, and then it just ended up being classes and then a big program. And then when you offered the coach training, I mentioned it to my husband, and he automatically said, "Well, you signed up, right?" And I was like, no, I was thinking about it. He was like, "Well, why didn't you already do it?" Because I was the one who thought about it in like 2006 and 7. And at the time I had 7 kids with, their ages were 7 to newborn. So it wasn't the time. And I think I sent you an email not too long ago and said it wasn't my time because that wasn't supposed to be who I was supposed to train with. So I think the timing of it for me was perfect because I was supposed to wait on you. And so my kids are a lot older, and I'm in a different place in my life. So one thing or a few things that have happened for me is it's almost like it's a professional and a personal development self-paced boot camp in a way. So you can, the peer coaching for me has been really good. It's just the different people that you can talk with, they all have their own techniques or their own style. And I appreciate that because it kind of gives some perspective in a way that, it just helps me for instance. So I kind of went into the whole farming thing thinking I needed to do what everyone else does. After 2 market garden courses, at least 1 flower course. There's probably been more that I've signed up for. This has probably been the most return on investment I've gotten from any. You could combine them all. And this has been the most effective because it didn't matter what in particular thing I was doing or marketing. So, and one thing, not just with coaching with you, with one-on-one, because I was one of the ones that was overwhelmed. I had everything and did nothing. So I think from whittling down what I didn't want to do, that was helpful for me. When I put on the uniform of whatever farmer, it just didn't feel right. And so I think I'm just now, and it's been years, I am just now learning what I want is so much bigger than me. It's scary. So I have, honestly, to put to all of you, I am way more of the lifestyle person than I am the product person. So I did nursing as a profession. So I always thought that nursing or medicine in general and farming had nothing to do with each other, but I was always in the ER working, and I would usually get the women's care patients and on purpose. I was good at it, and I was the one that they sent them to. And then I finally realized this is the women's health that I was wanting to do. This is like the glue that sticks the two together.
Oh,
And
that's so
it's amazing.
profound.
Mhm.
The minute that came out of your mouth, like, oh my gosh, she's so right. It just settles.
Mhm.
Oh, this is
Yeah.
the women's healthcare. Oh,
Mhm.
thank you
So
for that,
it's
Neva. That's
been wonderful.
huge. And
Thank
Neva
you.
just built the most beautiful new barn in Tennessee. And I would love to have an in-person event. And she volunteered her
I
barn.
did.
Yeah. And so look, wouldn't it be fun to get all of us, whoever can make it? I think the Midwest is perfect because kind of a central location for all of us. So someday, not next month, but who knows, maybe next year.
So like a lot of people, I listen to plenty of podcasts and read books. I mean, every day there's podcasts and books being read every day of my life. So one thing that struck me recently is so many of the people that I can hear in a podcast, they're coaches, right? So they claim they're coaches in whatever area they are. But what really struck me was their coaching isn't the same. Their coaching is just because they said so. Their coaching is because they're telling you otherwise. And what struck me about it the most was your coaching technique has to do with authority. So authority and ownership is what I'm kind of grasping on to thinking is it's not what you say, you're digging to find my authority and my ownership inside. So it's completely and it will never stick if the coach just says because I said so.
Yes.
It's this digging in there to find it, and then it will stick. It will stick when it comes from the person.
Yes,
So that
I
was
love that. Thank you for sharing that. Yes, most coaches are not trained the way I'm training you, the way I'm trained to help you become your own authority. And that is because I know you know the best answer for you. I know that. You see it because if I give you my answer, it doesn't stick. And that's what most coaches do. You ask them a question, they're like, okay, here's how I do it. You go away, you try it, it doesn't work for you because your answer, your wisdom lies inside of you. It says in the Bible, you're not given a problem unless you're given the solution inside of you as well. And most of us spend our lives looking outside of us for someone else to tell us the right way to do it. And the way I'm trained, the technology I use, the questions, the way they're written, help you go inside yourself and mine your own brain, M-I-N-E, dig in your brain like a mine and pull up those jewels, and it sticks. So yes, that I love that. You are all becoming your own authority. And all of you on camera look so much more like I can see you show up more confidently. Each month we're together and each year we're together in the case of some of you. So thanks for pointing that out, Neva. Yeah, we all have that inside of us, and it just builds confidence to know that you have it. You don't have to seek elsewhere like we're taught to do. Wonderful. Okay. Well, thank you everyone for being here. It is the biggest honor of my life that I get to train you as coaches. Like, as fulfilling as your lives are becoming, it is the same things happening in my world. And I love being able to do this work. You're a tough teacher. Yeah, thank you. I'm going to take that as a compliment, because I know that me having high standards for myself is what's made me a good coach. And holding you all to high standards, you are only as good of a coach as the results your clients get. Remember that. So because I'm being tough on you, for lack of a better word, you're becoming good coaches, which means your clients are going to get great results. And then you will be a more successful coach. If you're a coach, there's a lot of coaches out there that paid $5 for a certification and their clients don't get results. Their clients aren't making more money. Their lives aren't calming down, all that. Well, they will fizzle out. There's so many people that get certified and never do anything with it. But because of my high standards, you will create those results in your clients. It's kind of like a horse trainer. You can say you're a horse trainer, but if you train 10 or 20 horses and the horse does not change, you're not a good horse trainer. You're only as good of a horse trainer or a dog trainer as your horses or dogs improve. So that's why I'm tough. You guys are getting so good, and then you're going to get your clients' results, which you're already seeing. So, thank you. It's a huge honor. We do tough things together. I love having you all in my community, and I can't wait till someday we get to meet up in person too.